Welcome back to another amazing episode of Saw It in Theaters, where we talk about the latest release, and that is Trap by M. Night Shyamalan. This is a spoiler-free review. This movie stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Salika Shyamalan. So this movie centers around a father and daughter going to a Lady Raven concert, who is like
a huge megastar right now.
So big.
It's his daughter's favorite teenagers and their pop idols.
Oh, those. Okay, boomer. All right, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. What you get in the trailer, I guess, is essentially what you get for the movie.
Right. It sets a very nice premise in the trailer.
That he is a killer, serial killer, and that the whole concert is a trap. It's there. It's been sprung.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the things we did and didn't like here.
All right.
Let's just mix them all together.
Expect it watching a Shyamalan movie, especially the more recent stuff. It's campy. It is one of his things. You just got to live with it. And whether you get a decent movie, a really great movie like The Sixth Sense, or you get, I'm not even going to throw in Airbender and After Earth, but if you get like Old. I just didn't love the campiness of some of it.
Right.
The acting of some of it.
I didn't hate this movie that much.
Yeah.
The worst part about this movie was probably the distractions in the theater itself.
Grandparents brought a 7 or 8-year-old to this movie, and I don't know what the fuck she had. Like a rubber duck. It reminded me
dog
of...
toy.
Speaking of which, it reminded me of Snatch, where the dog swallows the thing, and it's like, throughout the whole movie. The guy had his phone out. I have to say something. I will.
His phone was starting to bother me because he's sitting there holding it like this.
What are you trying to show me?
On almost full brightness.
That has nothing to do with the movie.
Right.
Okay.
It just distracts a little bit.
It distracted, so I don't know that I could give like a full-on appreciative or depreciative angle of what I thought of this movie. From the trailer, you see, the oil explode and the other stuff happening.
I didn't feel that tension like you get from some of his other movies.
Yeah.
And I felt like they were trying to go for that. It fell flat.
Yeah.
Because, you get a lot of that will they, won't they feeling between like him, the police, and all that. But it didn't really hit that hard.
I kind of wish that he would have done a little bit better with making it how is he going to get out of this? Yeah. I kind of wish that.
You do start to feel that a little further into the movie. It's only an hour, 47 minutes or so, and you're about an hour in, and it feels longer than that. But
that's never a good sign for a movie.
Usually. How are they still going to wrap all this up? How is there still this much to go?
Well, that's one of the issues I had to the ending is, obviously we're not going to talk really about it. Something happens, and that leads to another thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to another thing. And I didn't like the way that it wrapped up like that. It wasn't it. It just seemed like it didn't know what it wanted to be.
It felt like it was trying to build up to something, and it didn't. It kind of just fell out. So
it seemed like a bunch of different puzzle pieces that didn't necessarily fit.
Yeah.
To build up to a point that the actual end itself, I thought was pretty good. I didn't hate the actual ending when it came to that point, but when you get to the last act of the movie,
this is one of those movies you get like 4 or 5 of those fake endings.
Yeah,
where
Lord of the Rings.
it's about to end. Oh well, now it's about to end. Sorry, now it's about to.
Like
end.
I'm watching a freaking wrestling match.
I like the music in this movie. I think Salika Shyamalan, she wrote and did all these songs herself, sang them herself. She did a great job on these songs.
She showcased the talent for sure.
Yes.
I will say this too. This is something so minor. As someone who's played an extra before on an HBO show, you don't see me, but still, you might. I don't know.
He's there.
I'm there. I got the pamphlet I wasn't supposed to take. We had to sing a song in the crowd, but nobody knew the lyrics and all that. You just kind of going with it. The crowd, at least the immediate crowd, they seemed to make sure that they knew the music, and I felt like that was it lended a little authenticity to some of the scenes. Josh Hartnett, I thought, was really good in this.
He was. I think Ariel Donahue did a great job in this movie, too. I mean, she's a typical teenager, but you can tell she's like a caring teenager.
Yeah.
They had some good moments together. He had some good interactions with like the merch guy.
I thought that was going to be a lot more annoying.
But it wasn't.
Than it ended up being in the actual film, and it wasn't. As somebody who's watched most Shyamalan movies, there's definitely like a swing. For his first 3 movies, I think are really, really great. The Village, you can go either way on that. But then it's really started to struggle. Like Lady in the Water, he tried to do something different. Then The Happening, and then it just really went off the rails. And he kind of brought it back with The Visit. He kind of found his way back in. Then Split was fantastic. Does he make an appearance? He does.
I mean, is it a Shyamalan movie? There's this one woman that shows up. She's a little annoying.
She's the mom of a friend of Riley's. And she was one of my least favorite parts. I felt like this movie could have been a little more clever.
It could have been. We didn't get enough of like the police side of this. It's supposed to be focused on him.
Well, I think it's mainly through his perspective.
Yeah,
I think Shyamalan has said that he filmed it to where you wouldn't be as close to the stage as they were.
Another thing I did like about this was the camera perspective on him. The way it kind of centers on him and kind of moves with him in some of the scenes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch. I mentioned, I actually did not hate this movie. I didn't mind it. I kind of liked it.
Is it a movie where you're like, oh my god, that is M. Night Shyamalan is amazing.
It wasn't like an oh my god, Shyamalan's back kind of movie. It was a decent movie. I would only really score it a 7-8.
That's higher than I thought. Yeah, I think this was a fine movie. They say Trap, you're a fine girl. Where it fits in the whole Shyamalan verse. It's more of the middle of the road for me. 7.3 out of 10.
It's a lot higher than I expected.
Have you guys seen Trap? Or what are some of your favorite Shyamalan movies? What are your rankings for the Shyamalan movies that you've seen? Do you plan on seeing Trap in theater? Leave us a message in those comments. See you next week. Saw it in theaters.
Done. Gang.